I think the end goal for me is Joe Weller. We got contracts today. I messaged Mams. I was like, oh, I want to fight. He sent me a list of people and I picked out, I don't want to reveal too much, but conversations have started. Just keep the same energy when he's knocked out.
Hello and welcome back to Misfits News. I'm your host, as always, Ben the Bane Davis, joined with my co-host BL, and today we're going to bring you the biggest updates from the world of crossover boxing. But before we dive into those, BL, how are you?
I'm very well, Ben. It's good to see you again. How are you doing? You seem very perky, as always.
Just fantastic. So happy to see you.
Well, Ben, before we dive into this weekend's boxing events, let me give you the agenda of what's on today's episode. Misfits 14 has officially been announced for May 11th. Vidal Riley came back with a big win, but with a bit of controversy. We'll be hearing from Danny Aarons himself. Finally, he joins Misfits News. Plus, there is a renowned Misfits band fighter who is trying to make a surprise comeback.
Vidal Riley's recent defense of his English title against Michael Lau by unanimous decision has indeed raised some eyebrows among fans. Some guys are questioning Vidal's performance, labeling it as underwhelming. BL, I'm curious, what did you make of this title defense?
Well, it's a real shame to see that the fans haven't respected the win there, because this win for Vidal was huge. It was a title defense, and as we recently just found out, Vidal actually broke a rib in the first round of that fight. So it's going to be a tough 10 rounds. This is high-level boxing. This is no longer crossover. This is real boxing against a real opponent who was the previous British champion. So I'm listing all these things to not excuse the performance, because I actually thought the performance was very well done. I thought he moved out the way of the big shots. He had a good game plan, and especially adjusting on the night after breaking a rib. He did what he had to do, and he's still retaining that belt.
Yeah, I think people got to recognize that the broken rib does play a serious role in, how he went about the fight. Like, let me break your rib, and then you go fight the former English title holder. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. So win's a win. And again, I think Isaac Chamberlain is out there in the wilderness. That, to me, feels like the next best fight. But BL, I don't know if there's anyone else that you have in mind for him.
No, I mean, Isaac Chamberlain, for me, is the perfect fight to go after this one. Isaac Chamberlain beat Michael Lawal. So it makes sense. Get the belts, make the fight happen. There's real beef. There's real animosity. We saw after the fight them going back and forth. I see a real spark in Vidal's eye, and I'm looking forward to see him succeed with his career and continue doing well in the real boxing world.
Well, one individual that we've been trying to get on for a minute and we are all interested in hearing from, it's the man himself, Danny Aarons, to tell us what the news is.
Welcome, Danny Aarons. It's finally happening, getting you on Misfits News. How are you feeling today?
I'm good, man. It's an absolute pleasure. I've watched every single episode. I'll be honest, maybe it sounds big-headed, but I just see if you speak about me. Sometimes you do. I think
we always try to bring you up. There's always
mate,
Danny Aarons News.
I've counted, and I think I'm on 2 out of 14 episodes.
You know what you need to do? You need to put your name out there. I want to see knockouts in sparring.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying, but then people say, oh, he's speaking too much. He's got to be humble. So it's trying to find that balance in it. This is YouTube boxing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I could just train twice a day, not say a word, knock someone out. Bit boring, isn't it? Well, let's make it entertaining, man. So, yeah, I'm talking a little bit.
Well, let's talk about that talk that you have right now. You've been hyping up your boxing ability tremendously. Why are you going into boxing? What is this whole storyline?
I've always wanted to do it. I've gone to every single Misfits event. Like, I even went, like, the KSI Joe Weller one, God knows. That was, like, what, 6 years ago now, whatever?
2018?
I've always, 28, yeah, 6 years. So, like, I've always ended them fights like being like, damn, I want to do this. And I've always said, like, whoever I go with, my mates on that, I'm always like, yeah, I'm next card, you're going to see me. I'm going to be on it. But I'm just chatting shit. 3-4 months ago, I was on a podcast, Simon's one, and he was like, oh, what's your like New Year's resolution or whatever? I was like, yeah, to have a boxing fight. And I'm like, that in my mind, I'm like, that's never happening. I'm never do it. Like, I'll be honest, I do say a lot of things, but now now we're here, innit? Maybe I bit off more than I can chew, but we will see.
Well, you're not on the official Misfits Boxing channel, so I'm hoping we're seeing you soon. Now, talk to me about that boxing ability.
Honestly, I bloody love it. I have fallen in love with the sport, which I think is very important. Like, people will just turn up to train. Like, what my coach tells me is I'm doing it a lot differently. So, like, normally, like, my coach has trained Misfits fighters before, and they're like, oh, hi, mate, I've got a fight in 8 weeks. I need, like, camp right now. But I rocked up, a few months ago, said, nah, I ain't got a fight date. I ain't got nothing in mind. I just want to get ready now. Obviously, now I have a fight date. So now we can proper go ham. But for the past few months, I was just turning up every day just to just to train, man. Nothing mental. Just to get myself in shape, learn the foundations, and now we can have fun.
Well, let's talk about that journey, going from obviously FIFA and primarily a YouTuber to going into boxing. What's that transition been like for you?
Most of my day is now training, whether that's obviously doing boxing or like even doing weight, strength and conditioning, all that. It's a lot. Like going from literally just sat here playing games, calling it a night and eating like crap food to now like proper being on it. Like as much as this is YouTube boxing and I'm very aware of that, I want to bring the entertainment aspect. But I'm training like a pro boxer, like not even to be big headed. Like I'm training with pro boxers. I'm surrounding myself with professional boxing coaches. Like this is different, man. It's a whole lifestyle change for me, but I'm loving it.
Well, let's talk about some of the opponents you've called out. You obviously Bevo being the main name right now. So can you shed some light behind that Bevo fight?
Everyone I've called out. So who have I've called out? Bevo and Joe Weller. They're like the main ones. Yeah. I have absolutely nothing against them. Legit. Like, especially Joe Weller. I actually used to be a massive fan of him. So it's more so like I'm calling people out that one I think would be a good fight. I think people want to see me and Bevo, me and Weller. I think it sells. I think it's a good storyline. But to be fair, Bevo basically just happened. I messaged Mams. I was like, oh, I want to fight. He sent me a list of people and I picked out Bevo. This is the thing, yeah. People are like, oh, you're picking Bevo, like easy fight. This guy's boxed like a lot.
That's what I was going to bring up. He's got experience.
He has got a lot more experience than me. So just keep the same energy when he's knocked out, all right?
Well, let's talk about that experience. What experience does he actually have and what do you think he's going to bring on fight night?
I'll be honest, man. I'm a little stalker, man. I've been going through like his Instagram bloody filled with him boxing. Like, well, not anymore. He's changed it a little bit. But like back in the day, like I feel like he was a boxer. Like literally all of his posts were like training footage, all that. Like, hear me out. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but I feel like he was a boxer turned content creator. This guy's got experience, man. So don't say I'm picking easy fights.
What is this card you're fighting on? There's a lot of rumors. There's chatter. I want some more confirmation what's going on.
I've been offered a lot. I've been offered like a few different months. I even got offered, the one that was supposed to happen in April. Yeah. I got offered that one, which I was very, very like keen for. But as I said, I don't want to be like all these other content creators that just say, oh, Danny, here's a load of money, fight in fucking 7 weeks or whatever. Like I'm doing this for me. Like I'm not doing this for any other motive. So I'm hoping we got contracts today, so I'm bloody hoping like it's coming real now because I'll be honest, it's been like a few months of telling people I'm fighting here, I'm fighting there, I'm fighting in this country.
Now it's concrete.
But I think it's concrete, and I will reveal it is in July, and I'm happy because Bevo was like he wants to fight now, like obviously because he's got more experience. Obviously. So he was like, no, I want to fight him in April. All right, mate. I made this man wait until July, mate. Just so I can get more training. He listens to me.
Now, let me set the scene for you, Danny Aarons. July comes across. You knock out Bevo. What is next for Danny Aarons in that boxing ring?
Well, that will happen. So I'm already thinking ahead. I've made it very clear. I think the end goal for me is Joe Weller. And to be fair, I don't want to reveal too much, but conversations have started. So it means he's actually interested because he's not really said anything online. But there is conversations happening to that. But I don't know if that's next after Bevo.
That's like a boss fight.
That's literally it. I feel like I need to, but I also don't want to wait too long. But that is like, once I beat Weller, what do I do? Do you know what I mean? And I'm not just here for a quick payday, have a few fights, go. This is my lifestyle now. So I don't know who's next after Bevo, man. Ed Matthews interests me. I think that's a very decent fight. But Joe Weller is like, once I beat him, might just hang up the gloves, mate.
Obviously, we've seen you do amazing things as of recent, especially with the Sidemen and the charity match. So I want you to sort of talk to the fans. How did that come about? How have you got to this position here?
Luck, man. Yes, you can get places with hard work, but I feel like luck plays such a big part. My key thing, I tell everyone, is just say yes to everything, like literally big or small. How I got into the Sidemen videos of that, I probably just said yes to like a very small idea. That small creator knows this other small creator, but then that small creator knows this big creator, and then it kind of snowballs from that. So just say yes to everything. Make sure you enjoy it, stay consistent, and never give up.
Well, let's talk about Ethan and Bazinga potentially joining Misfits. Can you provide any insights of whether you think he will ever do it? There was so much rumor, so much hype, and it seems to be dying out right now.
honestly, I feel like he might get more love than JJ. The people will support him, man. Like, obviously, myself included, I would fucking love to see Ethan in the ring. But like, again, at their level, it's like with JJ, he doesn't need to do it. Bro's got £1 billion with Prime. Do you know what I mean? But like Ethan is very like, I don't know what the word. He stands on business. He will not do anything unless it's 100% worth it for him. People said he's scared of Weller and that. I promise you he's not. He's on it, man. He's switched on. He won't do anything for cheap.
When you bring up your name, of course, I'm going to bring up Tennessee.
Of course.
Ben, can the fans expect to see Tennessee make that return?
Hey, I hope soon, man. I really, really hope soon. She's still training. She hasn't got a fight like confirmed or anything, but bro's still in the gym twice a day. She's moving like Muhammad Ali. And hey, whenever she fights, I'm 100% going to be there. I can't wait for it.
Now, I need to talk about this team. There's so many rumors. I've seen Canelo in your team. I've seen everyone in your team.
That was a great one, man. I fucking love that.
What's going on with this team? Who is this team? Is it Floyd Mayweather? Like, what's going on?
I'm with Swams' team, or like his old team, whatever. I don't even know if I feel like I don't know what Swans is doing. Hope to see him back. But no, honestly, my team, my coach, like genuinely the best I could ever ask for. Like from day one, you can imagine walking into a boxing gym for the first ever time. It's intimidating, but I felt like I'm part of the family. I'm at home. I just can't wait to show, like, because obviously I speak a big talk and I've got nothing to back it up right now. But after that first fight, I can't wait for all the opinions to change, man.
Now, the last thing I've got for you, Danny Aarons, is I want to give you the platform, the opportunity for any final words or any exclusive updates for all the fans that have been expecting you on the Misfits News episode.
Boys, it's going to be a great day. When I finally step in the ring, just know blood, sweat, tears, everything has gone into it. I'm not half-assing this. I'm not even training for Bevo. Like, I'm training for Weller. I'm training for future fights. Yes, obviously I need to not look past Bevo because that would be stupid. Like, I am still treating it like he's bloody Floyd Mayweather. But when you finally see me in the ring in July, I just can't wait for all of you to see how hard I've been working. It's gonna be one of the best nights of my life. I can't wait. And I can't wait to see all the boys there supporting us, man. It's gonna be a surreal night.
What a pleasure it was having Danny Aarons finally on the episode. I mean, what a moment. I'm excited to have him back on. But Ben, a few takeaways there. He signed the contract today to fight in July against none other than the lethal Bevo. What do you make of that, Ben?
Listen, I'm very pumped to see what Danny Aarons can bring inside the ring. If he can walk it as much as he talks it, boom, we've got another big potential pay-per-view star. Now, Bevo is definitely a choice. I am not sure what this kid's background is outside of obviously eating food with as few chews as possible on TikTok. You keep telling me, everyone keeps telling me, oh, he's got amateur experience. I have never seen a video of this experience. I have never seen a video of him hitting pads. If you can provide it to me, fantastic. Hell, we'll break it down next week. But Danny Aarons by a steamrolling massive first-round KO is what I'm thinking.
Well, Danny Aarons definitely has confidence, and it must be for a reason. And he said the ultimate goal is to fight Joe Weller. Now, for me, that would be a super fight, especially in the UK, for sure, a pay-per-view. Big aspirations, but obviously we've never seen Joe Weller win. I haven't seen Joe Weller as of recent, so right now, it's a 50-50 fight.
Joe Weller hasn't been competing, but boy, I mean, he is looking like a physical monster. So if Danny Aarons wants the beast, maybe he'll get it after Bevo. Well, either way, that's all the way in July. Let's talk about May. Misfits 14 confirmed for May 11th by Mams Taylor. Anticipation is starting to build a little bit for this non-pay-per-view event. So, BL, who are some of the top picks for who we'll see on the 11th?
Obviously, the real fights for me, the ones that get me excited, is seeing King Kenny return to the ring versus Salt Pappy. Now, the reason why I say this fight, they both fought Anthony Taylor. They didn't get the performance they wanted, and it could be a good comeback fight for both of them.
I completely agree with you. Salt Pappy's in a position where he needs a win badly, and King Kenny, to his credit, is not a pushover. That's not an easy out for anyone. So credit to both guys. I'd love to see that if it comes to fruition. But another one that I think has some serious steam is Fred back. We keep talking. We keep hearing about Fred getting in the Misfits ring. Obviously, for May 11th, they were trying to do Fox versus Fred. I think Mams confirmed that. But why not Fred versus Small Spartan JPL?
I mean, for me, it makes sense. Fred goes in there. We love the storylines. That's I keep bringing up. We like storylines here on Misfits News. Fred goes in there, sparks out Small Spartan J. We got what a storyline against Foxer G. I mean, what a headliner or co-main event that could be going forward. Now, another fight I know probably will not happen Misfits 11, but one I no matter would love to see, Slim versus Anis on Gibb.
And I think in the main event, Slim versus Gibb would be a fantastic marquee matchup. I think that has so much steam and story. A couple other fights that I think need to be on the May 11th card is the interim lightweight tournament opening round bouts between Waleed Sharks and Ace Musa, Tasmanian Devil, Argentinian King, and Lil Cray Cray versus Yeti Gang. Let's rebook it. I mean, get all three out in the same card. Lil Cray Cray versus Yeti was performance of the night. That written all over it before the evacuation. I can't even imagine how good those other two fights would be. So for me, the things I want to see, the interim lightweight tournament, that's got my attention. Let's get it out of the way on Misfits 14, at least the opening round.
There's a couple fights you missed. You say high level. I said Ben Davis versus B Dave. That is one that captures my interest. I need to see it happen.
Yeah, that's a pay-per-view main event. You know, that's going to do at least 3, maybe 50 million buys, I think. B Dave, listen, you can get the business any time of the week. The biggest punching bag in Misfits history. Be an honor to, finally be the first man to TKO him. I'll say this, like I've made clear, I want a tune-up. I want a bit of a squash match to get back in there, get my hand raised, and then be Dave in the fall. That's where it's going to be. Now, in some other news, a Misfits fighter who was banned for steroid usage is making a couple waves with a viral sparring clip. He knocked someone out. BL, it's Callum Izzard. Now, we got the chance to speak with him and get to the bottom of not only that sparring clip, but we pulled the curtains back a little bit on what this ban was and, obviously the actions that have led to it. So let's hear from Callum. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming back inside the Misfits News booth. We haven't seen him in quite some time. It's Callum Izzard. Callum, how are you, sir?
How are you doing, brother Ben? Nice to see you again, my guy. BL, nice to see you as well.
Let's take it back to a time where everything was maybe more positive, right? Misfits 9 in Newcastle, OJ Rose, you had him on your hands. How did that fight go relative to your expectations?
I mean, I was expecting to win, so it didn't really go too well. Now, in all honesty, we was all there. We all saw it. I struggled to watch the 4th round on YouTube, but I can definitely watch rounds 1 to 3. I came to fight. I went out swinging. OJ Rose went in with a game plan, and it was my second fight. No matter how much training, how much I had my set pieces that I really would like to go for, he came in there so quick and rapid and put me on my toes. And with the adrenaline and the atmosphere and being on Misfits for the first time, the occasion got the best of me.
Were you surprised by his durability when you connected on some of those shots? Were you like, oh shit, I thought that would have gotten him?
Yeah, there was a couple of times in the first and second round when I've rocked him, I was like, hey, go time. I'm hearing the bells, I'm seeing the money. I'm like, yo, knock out of the night, let's go. And I'll give it to him. He's a tough motherfucker, I can't lie.
I'm curious, what's the training been looking like? What has the lifestyle been revolving around? Because like you said, we haven't seen you. There's a lot of Callum Izzard that fans are unknown on.
I've added another coach into my camp, and he's an ex-2-time world Commonwealth champion. I've got my old coach that we're still working with, but I brought another coach into the camp too, and them two together is this is dynamite. I've got somebody there that's been the full way. So in terms of strength and conditioning and things that I'm doing, it's a whole other ball game.
Now, Callum, as much as I love you, your name doesn't come with any controversy right now. That ban, can you talk us through what actually happened and the truth behind what really went on?
There's certain things that I can't talk about purely because of obviously the situation that I have at the moment with the PBA and courts and stuff like that. But, I've been served a ban by Misfits and a fine, and, I'm being punished accordingly. In terms of why and what, I think people need to understand is that I never grew up as a child wanting to become a boxer. I've gone down the reality television route, party boy, fitness, it was always something. I'm not a professional boxer, and it was never my intention to go in there and try and do something crazy and get juiced up, which is obviously what is been perceived at the moment. People need to understand that what the product that I actually bought was over the counter in a supplement store, and I genuinely on the life of me never even knew what even cordis. I don't even know what it was.
Cortisone, yeah.
I'm not clued up like this. This is a supplement over the counter sort of thing, and it was a mistake on my behalf. With the whole Misfits thing, we had tests before, many tests, blood tests, MRI scan, MRA scan, everything. I didn't know.
The question that fans would say is, why should we let Callum back? Why should we embrace him coming back? What would you say to that crowd potentially?
Since it happened, it's not been a case of that I've ever not been in the gym. I've never not worked my ass off. It was not like it was genuinely an accident of somebody that is not a sports professional, hasn't ever been a sports professional. It was my second ever fight. I've come into a new world that is not I'm not known to. So, I would appreciate, the fact that people could take that with consideration. Like, I've never grown up being a boxer. I've never grown up around this environment. So I've jumped in and, there's been errors and there won't be any more errors. I'm not allowed, Misfits know that I have to now, undergo certain tests and checks the full way through my camps and stuff. So,
Now, I want to switch gears for a moment now. We spoke about the negatives. Now, I want to talk about a viral moment that went viral on Twitter for a reason. And that's because you had a disgusting knockout in your sparring. Now, can you talk us through what went on there?
I mean, what went on is I basically accidentally knocked him out. And that's, it wasn't really a hard punch. I actually just caught his chin. We've all been there. It happens. If you're a true sparrer, like I spar 2 times a week. I spar with guys that are way better than me and guys that are not as good as me. One's more technical sparring, one's heavy sparring, and it happens. You take a shot, you go knocked down. A lot of people are there saying, wow, he's knocking guys out in sparring. BL, just to put it there, you've sparred with me, and not to bring you into this, but do I or do I not? I say to them, there's most of the time I say, listen, you set the pace and I will match it. I don't ever take the Michael with nobody. I don't take the pace like I spar whatever you spar. If you hit me with a good shot, best believe the good shot is coming back.
If you do make that return onto Misfits Boxing, who would you want to fight? Is there any names there that interest you right now?
I'm already looking at like some names that, many people will probably shy away from. Isaac Taylor's name keeps getting thrown into there. And then, it would be a case of obviously smoking him. And then obviously I've been speaking to AT yesterday and happily let him know that after I smoke his brother, I'll come for him as well. If I'm not up there with some of the best names in influencer boxing, even though I've only had a couple of name of fights, tell me why I never get the easy fights, because I could have gone in there and smoked Swarms. I could have gone and smoked half the roster, but they don't want to give me the easy fights, and I just have to take what I'm given.
Boy, it's good to be back, Misfits News, delivering all the biggest updates in the world of crossover boxing every Tuesday and Thursday. Make sure you're tuning in for all the exciting content. As always, I've been your host, Ben the Bane Davis. For my co-host, BL, thank you for the time, and we'll see you in the next one.